Unmute. There we go. Sorry about that, YouTube. Now we're good to go. We're back. Good to go. Should be coming through. Let's make sure. There we go. Oh, it sounded good too. Sounded lovely. Okay, well there we are. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up, by the way. Subscribe if you're not subscribed to the long dormant personal channel of yours truly. Finally getting some use. Quite a bit of use lately, actually. Past 24 hours or so. Been a good few days. Actually, great couple of days, hasn't it? So, man, I guess I was entirely right to be completely not worried at all. And in fact, so not worried that I just fell asleep on, you know, right in the midst of all this. I must have fallen asleep at like 11, 12 o'clock midnight last night, and I missed all the action because I knew it was in the bag, man. In the bag. I was able to just sleep like a baby. I knew it. It was obvious from the second those poly market odds started spiking. Like, that was it. It was in the bag, man. Great stuff, though. Even though I missed a lot of the action through the middle of the night, it's okay. We just obviously saw Kamala give her concession speech. It was brief. It was weird. There were cackles. There were some very odd moments. I mean, odd even for her. Let me pull it up here. Hold on. We'll get going. Now I gotta figure out how to share it for... Oh no, it should work actually just fine. Yeah, the screen share should work just fine for YouTube. Doing it this way. Okay, there we go. Yep, you guys should get that. Where's me in the corner? There's me in the corner. Hi, me in the corner. Pew! And then you guys should get a feed of desktop audio. Let me make sure my sound is shared too. Resume. Yep, we're good. All right, let's see. Let me see what I tagged first off. We'll jump in. Oh, here's a fun one. This is what happens when an entire generation is raised with therapy screaming rooms for them to vent their frustrations in. No self-control. Oh, this is a great moment. They could have won, if only.
Think critically. Well, it would help if we could regulate social media, because one of the biggest offenders is DC and Congress have not been able to do one thing in regard to the rogue corporations of social media.
It's not going to get any better with Elon Musk in the administration. I want to think critically.
Okay. Oh, I gotta sign in on my. I gotta be able to pull up the YouTube chat on my thing here. Let's see. Let's get that going. Hey, there we go. One more chat to worry about. That's great. Don't look at my password. No cheating, no looking. There we go. Cool. Yeah, hit that thumbs up. And thank you, Steph, for reminding people out there in YouTube. Speaking of any of the old heads coming through here, people we haven't seen in a bit. Christian Patriot, hello, I see you out there. Up 3 says, how exciting seeing the OG PSP crew. Well, it's just me here. This is my personal channel, but hello. Good to see you. Good to be seen. Roxy, it's Roxy. Hey, what's up? Culprit Non, Mike Killian. It's a name I don't recognize. Maybe you changed your name over the years. Cool. There we go. Beautiful. I look like I grew up. I guess I mean it's been like 8 years, so I suppose so. Indeed. All right. Well, let's keep going. Let's keep moving. Yeah, this is kind of like a big looming question here that nobody is really talking about. Biden allegedly, apparently, we were told, got 81 million votes. Kamala Harris got, what, 60 something million? Where did all go? What happened? I mean, the general trend over time is more votes. Of course, more people. So what happened? I mean, in the most crucial election of our lifetimes, what we're expected to believe that 20 million voters just up and disappeared. It's actually more than that, because I mean, that's not accounting for the Trump side of things. And I think even that was less than it was in 2020. Not nearly as much as this, but what happened? Where'd they all go? It's almost like there was something preventing all of these votes from being cast. Maybe, I don't know, the fact that significant portions of them were legal and illicit votes that never should have been cast to begin with. And it's almost like this time around, they knew if they did it, they'd get caught red-handed. And they couldn't do it. Almost. Just a little fan fiction. Who knows? I wonder. I really wonder about that. And I mostly, more than anything, wonder why no one's asking that question. That's a big deal. That is entirely unexplainable in any normal way. So can't wait to see where that goes. This is also fascinating. Another huge detail that should be talked about, but probably won't be. Look at that overlay here. This is a map of states where no photo ID, no voter photo ID is required. Or, well, okay, so the blue states photo ID is required. Orange states a non-photo ID is required. So, say, I don't know, like a college ID or, you know, just say something like that. They probably accept absolutely ridiculous things as forms of ID. And then the gray states are no ID required whatsoever. None. Here are the states that Kamala Harris won in blue. Let's see. All along the West Coast, Washington, Oregon, California. Gray, gray, gray. Undecided as of yet, but we'll see. New Mexico and Colorado, gray orange. Minnesota, Illinois, gray. Virginia, that's orange. Maryland, New Jersey, New York, and basically the entire Northeast. Maryland, okay, gray. Orange, and then a couple that actually require photo ID. She won, but they are like such heavily blue, like enclaves. I mean, it's freaking Vermont and Rhode Island, so I mean, no surprise there. But that's hard to ignore. Okay, she basically only won in states where no photo ID is required. That's not necessarily hard evidence, but it's something. I mean, something that ought to be poked into a little further. That's an interesting coincidence, if you ask me. We already did screaming guy. Letitia. Once again, publicly admitting that she's going to engage in lawfare openly.
Other Democratic AGs across this country to make sure that we would be ready to respond to any attempt to roll back our rights. So here we are. We've studied their platform.
Oh, hey, by the way, on YouTube, are you guys getting any kind of weird echo off of the, because it's coming through the speakers and you're getting that feed, but you're also getting my mic feed, which is catching audio from the speakers. So is there any weird echo, or is it no echo? That's fantastic. Wonderful. Good to hear. We had that issue on my laptop, but I guess not a problem here. Good to hear.
Platforms. We've identified certain possibilities, fact patterns. We've created contingency plans. So no matter what the next administration throws at us, we're ready. We're ready to respond to their attacks. We're ready to respond to any attempts to cut or eliminate any funding to the great state of New York, as the governor outlined. So despite what has happened on the national stage, we will continue to stand tall in the face of injustice, revenge, or retribution. We will continue to protect and our most vulnerable and marginalized amongst us, because it is my sworn duty and responsibility to lead that fight, working with the governor of this great state, Kathy Hochul. This is not the time to be fearful, New York, but faithful and steadfast, knowing that I, as the Attorney General, along with my entire team, we are guardians of the law.
It's a funny way to put it.
And we are prepared, my friends, to fight back. Thank you.
Interesting way to put that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Other
Okay,
Democratic
shut up, Hag. We heard you. Enough. Keith Ellison. One thing's for sure. We gonna resist this. We gonna resist it. Ain't shit. What else? What else? Gen X saves America. Truly, they did.
I said in the tweet this morning, what generation roared? Boomers were underwhelming.
Xers.
I said Gen X saves America. I said Elon, Dana.
Latchkey kids, man.
These
they
kids
remember America.
Finally
that was different.
stepped up.
Yeah.
Finally stepped up. This
Angela
is the
was
first
like, we finally did something.
this was the coming out party for Gen Xers.
I said in the tweet this morning, what generation roared? Boomers were underwhelming.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, how about that? Apparently, allegedly, according to ABC, Special Counsel Jack Smith set to wind down prosecutions of Donald Trump. I also saw a judge, Beryl Howell, had dropped a case against a J6 velvet rope grandma. So it's begun. It's begun. They're winding down. Okay, anything from this morning? It's stuff I already covered this morning. That's okay. All right, let's go over to Miss Steph's pile here. What's going on? What do we got? Good evening, Steph. How you doing? Huh? Oh yeah, hot dogs. Yeah. Ketchup, mustard. Yeah, just whatever. Dijon. Or regular, whatever. It doesn't matter. Mustard's mustard. Hot dog. Delicious. Okay. Sorry about that. Actually freaking starving, so. Alright, let's see where we're gonna pick up here. We'll go with, I think we saw that this morning. Yeah, Bush congratulates Trump. Tesla up 36 points. We'll start there. With President Trump now president-elect again, and knowing the dangerous consequences of incendiary anti-Trump rhetoric, sources say Secret Service, DOJ, and FCC may have no choice but to monitor CNN, MSNBC, and other broadcasts for violent hate speech. What? And enforce licensing standards to protect the president-elect. I'll believe that when I see it. Great news for us, Democrats doubling down. You're kidding. How so? This is on The View.
What we did not have is white women who voted about 52%, right, for Donald Trump. Uneducated white women, is my understanding. You have Latino men, actually, voting more for him. And you have, and black men was not the story. We're not the story here because they voted almost 80% for the vice president.
Right.
So why do you think that uneducated white women voted against their reproductive health freedoms? And why do you think Latino men voted in favor of someone that's going to deport, says he's going to deport the majority of his community?
White women like being called
That's not what's happening, but okay.
Uneducated white women. I think the economy matters, national security matters. But when you put people in these boxes, I think that's a takeaway from this race.
We have, what we did not have is white women who voted about 52%, right, for Donald.
Notice the uneducated dig. They're all the same. It's just like the coffee house lady in Alexandria. They're all the same. Just a sick mindset. Harris is expected to call Trump to concede. That I believe has already happened before she did the concession speech. Late breaking Arizona, let's see, State Rep Justin Heap just won Maricopa County Recorder. His Democrat opponent conceded. This bodes even better now for Carrie Lake to win her race, which has definitely seen some screwy stuff, potentially. I hear. 18 Democrat states passed a bill called the National Popular Vote, which would require the states to give their votes to whoever won the popular vote. Democrats did this to try to get rid of the Electoral College and just, I mean, like, kind of circuitous way of doing it, but I guess basically does that. And elect presidents based on popular vote, which typically favors Democrats. They never expected Trump or any other Republican can win the popular vote. Doesn't go into effect unless there's 270 who join. How funny would it be if all these blue states are forced to give their votes to Trump? God, wouldn't that be fun? Bring it on. Los Angeles voted out their Soros-funded DA last night. Interesting, George Gascon. In favor of probably another Soros-funded DA, but just a guess. Former federal prosecutor who ran as an independent named Nathan Hochman. I don't know, maybe this guy will clean it up. Let's hope so, for Los Angeles' sake. could be a great city if it wasn't so degenerate and effed up. See, I stopped myself there. Liz Cheney, our nation's democratic system functioned last night, and we have a new president-elect. All Americans are bound, whether we like the outcome or not, to accept the results of our elections. Golf clap. Bravo, Liz. Good job. Yeah, way to go. We now have a special responsibility as citizens of the greatest nation on earth to do everything we can to support and defend the Constitution. Oh, sure you will, Liz. Preserve the rule of law and ensure that our institutions hold over these coming 4 years. Interesting choice of words there. Hold over. Okay. Citizens across this country, our courts, members of the press, and those serving in our federal, state, and local governments must now be the guardrails of democracy. So she is, in no uncertain terms, very clear language here, in my opinion, calling for a repeat of the first Trump presidency. For the deep state, so-called, to keep Trump on guardrails. For holdovers to do their duty and rein him in. I'm sorry to tell you, Liz, that I don't think, in this case, that you're going to succeed. I don't think anything can stop what's coming. Sorry to say. Sorry to tell you. Nope. Just now, Michigan has been called for Trump. Honk honk. Woo! 49.7 to 48.3. Michigan has gone red. That was around 12:30 p.m. Eastern. So he now sits at 292 to Kamala's 224. So far, we're still waiting on, of course, Nevada and Arizona. Duh. Every time. DOJ moving to wind down Trump criminal cases before he takes office. Of course, what would be the point even? They can't do anything once he's president, so why? The DOJ... Oh, well, here, we'll just let the clip play out here. Here we go.
We have some news about special counsel Jack Smith, this man right here. Donald Trump said recently that he would fire Jack Smith, quote, within 2 seconds of taking office. Well, we found out that he may not have that opportunity. The reason is that the Department of Justice, where Jack Smith works, cannot prosecute a sitting president. Fox News is told that Jack Smith will be gone from his post as special counsel, meaning the cases will be gone before Trump takes the oath of office at noon on January 20th. This is the documents case, though that was dropped already by Judge Eileen Cannon back over the summer, and it's on appeal, but also this case for Trump's alleged efforts to try to overturn the 2020 election. So given the fact DOJ policy says you cannot prosecute a sitting president, expect Jack Smith's cases to be done. The last case, and I'll end on this, is that Atlanta case that deals with the 2020 elections. That's a local Georgia case. We've seen over the last year how that has played out with Fonnie Willis, Nathan Wade. That has many problems, many different delays. So the bottom line for my story to all of you right now, Donald Trump's legal problems have essentially all gone away since he won last night. Harris.
Disappeared. Dust in the wind. Okay. Oh, this gal, she's great. Across the pond here.
So I would like to start by congratulating President-elect Trump on his impressive victory this morning. The Prime Minister and the Foreign Secretary met him in September. Did the Foreign Secretary take that opportunity to apologize for making derogatory and scatological references, including, and I quote, Trump is not only a woman-hating, neo-Nazi sympathizing sociopath, he is also a profound threat to the international order. And if he did not apologize, will the Prime Minister do so now on his behalf?
Nope.
Mr. Speaker, there will
Won't
be
do it.
many issues on which the Leader of the Opposition and I disagree, but there will be issues
So sick.
that do unite this House.
This loser.
On national security in Ukraine, and I do look forward to working closely with her on that, and I will provide her with the information that she needs to discharge her duties. That's the right thing for the country, and it's far more important than party politics.
So I would like...
Yep. Total scumbag. Yeah. Mayor Adams congratulating Trump on his victory.
I want to congratulate President-elect Trump and Vice President-elect J.D. Vance and wish them all the best as they work to promote the interests of the American people. As mayor of America's largest city, our main team will work with the incoming administration for the good of all New Yorkers. We will collaborate with our mayors across this country to come up with a real agenda that could help cities across America.
That coming through kind of low for you guys. Let me crank that up.
America. I want to congratulate.
Do I not have a? I must not have a audio compressor on. Let me see about that. How do I do that again? Filters. Compressor. There we go. I'll do it. 3.5 to 1. And some output gain. Okay, let's see if that fixes it. Hopefully that'll do it. Sidechain ducking source. There's my mic. Okay, all right. Where's the next one? Let's see how this works. See how this comes through.
You won't hear from the Vice President tonight, but you will hear from her tomorrow.
Okay, let me go back to that Adams video and see how that stacks up. See if it's improved.
President-elect Trump and Vice President-elect J.D. Vance.
Needs to go up more.
I wish them all the best as they work to promote the interests of the American people. As mayor of America's largest city, our main team will work with the incoming administration for the good of all New Yorkers. And we will collaborate with our mayors across this country to come up with a real agenda.
Yeah, hopefully everything else isn't now like way too loud. We'll see. Let's see Wolf Blitzer here.
Vice President Kamala Harris.
Oh, way too loud, yeah.
Harris has officially conceded the 2024 presidential election, calling President-elect Donald Trump to offer her congratulations.
Yep. I'll have to mess with my my audio settings later. I don't know, man. That was crazy.
Senior White House correspondent MJ Lee is here with me in the studio. Give our viewers a little bit more information. What else are you learning?
Yeah, this was a phone call that we had been waiting on all day. We are told by a senior Harris aide that the vice president did call the former president to concede the 2024 race. She congratulated him on his victory. And we are told that she talked about the importance of the transfer of power, being peaceful, and also about being a president for all Americans. Of course, as we have been talking about all day long, the next time we expect to hear directly from the vice president is at Howard University. This is, of course, where she was expected to be. Last night, she ended up not appearing at her own election night party. This is not surprising that the vice president ended up making this concession phone call. We got no indications whatsoever from Democrats and the Harris campaign that she had any plans to contest the race in any way. I think watching for the tone that she uses and exactly how she talks about her loss and this moment in American politics is going to be so significant. There are going to be millions of Americans, many of whom are disappointed, even despondent president about the results of last night's election, who will be looking to her for cues on, so what does this mean for going forward? How do I move on? This was an election that was so divisive, that was so just ramped up in the rhetoric. And I think a lot of people are wondering, well, now that the vice president has conceded the race, what are the cues that we can take from her on what moving on actually looks like and how to process the prospect of Donald Trump coming back for a second term at the White House?
And I think it's important to note, as you and I well know and all of our viewers know as well, she is now doing what Trump refused to do 4 years ago when he lost the presidential election.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, Wolfie. The cope is just delicious. It's tasty. Yummy. Alright, I know I skipped a few here. Let's see. We did Adams. This is great. Yeah. Here's the full email Jen O'Malley Dillon just sent Harris campaign staff. Now, Jen O'Malley is the campaign manager, I believe. Yeah. Chair of Harris for President, campaign manager, Biden-Harris 2020. Excuse me, she sent this out. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's all just a bunch of garbage and empty words until she gets to this. I'll leave you with this. Losing is unfathomably painful. It is hard. This will take a long time to process. But the work of protecting America from the impacts of a Trump presidency starts now. So this is yet another person who is excuse me, yet another person who is inferring that there will be a repeat of what they did the first time around, employing the deep state, the live-in bureaucrats that just never seem to go anywhere to effectively keep a leash on Trump and rein him in and try to prevent him from being able to do anything. Somehow, I don't think they're going to be nearly as successful this time around. I don't think it's going to work for them. No way. Bette Midler deleted her account after threatening to kill herself. Wow. So she has a Camilla Wins bottle of champagne in her fridge, along with a Trump Wins bottle of Drano, which I assume she'll be drinking. I mean, she said it, not me. Don't let me stop you, Bet. Trump gains in nearly every demographic from 2020. Nearly? Wonder which ones he didn't. But he did gain with women, up 2, men up 3, non-college up 6, Hispanic up 6, black up 6, up 7. Wow. Young plus 10. Interesting. World leaders reacting to Trump's comeback. You've definitely extended support and congratulations, for sure, as expected. Macron, congratulations, President Trump, ready to work together as we did for 4 years with your convictions and mine, with respect and ambition for more peace and prosperity. Okay, this guy, Itamar Ben-Gvir, what is he? National Security Minister of Israel, said yes. In response to, well, himself, saying God bless Trump. Okay. Yes. Kind of, is it like a Napoleon Dynamite yes? Like, yes. Or like a snake. I don't know who this guy is. I know nothing about their politics or how this guy is received over there. Their national security minister. No clue. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban, who we do know, an outspoken Trump ally, celebrated the win as a beautiful victory, adding the biggest comeback in U.S. political history, a much-needed victory for the world. Other leaders soon echoed similar sentiments. Belarusian President Lukashenko voiced his approval. And of course, UK politician Nigel Farage hailed it as the most incredible political comeback of our lifetime. Dutch leader Geert Wilders joined in with enthusiastic post. Congratulations, President Trump. Congratulations, America. Never stop, always keep fighting, and win elections. Bukele of El Salvador said, congratulations to the President-elect of the United States of America, Donald Trump. May God bless and guide you. Scott Morrison, congratulations, President Trump of Australia. U.S. dollar surged by 1.7%. Good, good, good. And the 10-year U.S. Treasury yield reached a 4-month high. Bitcoin, of course, buoyed by, well, promises of a crypto future, hit a record 75,000. Trump campaign statement here from some point today. President Donald J. Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris spoke by phone earlier today, where she congratulated him on his historic victory. President Trump acknowledged Vice President Harris on her strength, professionalism, and tenacity throughout the campaign, and both leaders agreed on the importance of unifying the country. Hey, there you go. According to Stephen Chung, Trump campaign communications director. The reactions of faces at Kamala's rally, or party, I guess, whatever you want to call it, at Howard University. Here we go. Repeated the same video, 2016.
You won't hear from the Vice President tonight, but you will hear from her tomorrow.
Wah, wah. Just like Hillary. No shame.
Thank you for all that you have done. Thank you for being here. Thank you for believing in the promise of America.
Wow. So sad. Aww.
We will continue overnight to fight to make sure that every vote is counted and every voice has spoken. So thank you. We believe in you. May God bless you. May God keep you.
Wow.
Go Harris. Thank you all.
Bye-bye. Go home to mommy. All right, here's Wolfie.
Vice President Kamala Harris has officially conceded the 2024 presidential election, calling President-elect Donald Trump to offer her congratulations. Our senior White House correspondent, MJ Lee, is here with me in the studio. Give our viewers a little bit more information. What else are you learning?
Yeah, this was a phone call that we had been waiting on all day. We are told by a senior Harris aide that the vice president did call the former president to concede the 2024 race. She congratulated him on his victory. And we are told that she talked about the importance of the transfer of power, being peaceful, and also about being a president for all Americans. Of course, as we have been talking about all day long, the next time we expect to hear directly from the vice president is at Howard University. This is, of course, where she was expected to be. Last night, she ended up not appearing at her own election night party. This is not surprising that the vice president ended up making this concession phone call. We got no indications whatsoever from Democrats and the Harris campaign that she had any plans to contest the race in any way. I think watching for...
You're kidding me. Roxy says Laura Trump recommended Roseanne Barr for press secretary? What? I mean... There's probably more qualified, like, better choices out there, but I'd love to see that. just to see it, just to, like, say it happened.
Or the tone that she uses and exactly how she talks about her loss. And this moment in American politics is going to be so significant. There are going to be millions of Americans, many of whom are disappointed, even despondent about the results of last night's election, who will be looking to her for cues on, so what does this mean for going forward? How do I move on? This was an election...
Coddle me, mama.
...that was so divisive. That was so just ramped up in the rhetoric. And I think a lot of people are wondering, well, now that the vice president has conceded the race, what are the cues that we can take from her on what moving on actually looks like and how to process the prospect of Donald Trump coming back for a second term at
Well, I mean, they could all start by growing the F up.
The White House.
And I think it's important to note, as you and I well know and all of our viewers know as well, she is now doing what Trump refused to do 4 years ago when he lost the presidential election.
Please. That's the thing, though, is that he didn't refuse. And there were some serious questions in 2020, I might add. Massive questions, looming questions that have still, to this day, not been satisfactorily answered. We do not have that this time around. This was not quite a landslide, but it was a resounding win. So don't play that game, Wolf. We already saw Letitia. Okay, Joe Biden has spoken to Trump and congratulated him.
Moments ago, President Biden called President-elect Trump to congratulate him on his election victory last night, early this morning, and invite him to the White House for a transition meeting. Which means that the transition this time around will be wholly different than it was during the Obama administration. Vice President Harris will speak to the nation at 4 o'clock Eastern, her first public remarks about the election. Our White House team reports that she has called President-elect Donald Trump to concede and congratulate him. Moments ago, President Biden called President...
How about that? Hello out there, by the way, YouTube people. Oh, look at that. There's 60 people watching on YouTube. Remember those days, those early days? Oh, man. 60 people. We used to be happy with 30. Wall Street's main indexes soared to record highs today. That's right.
Wall Street's main indexes soared to record highs Wednesday morning, while the small cap Russell 2000 index jumped to its highest in nearly 3 years, as Republican Donald Trump won the 2024 U.S. presidential election in a remarkable comeback 4 years after he was voted out of the White House. Investors are anticipating lower taxes, deregulation, and a U.S. president who is quick to sound off on everything from the stock market to the dollar. even though tariff hikes could bring challenges in the form of higher deficits and inflation. Most of the S&P 500 sectors were trading higher. Financials led the gains with a 5% jump to touch a record high as yields rose and investors expected them to benefit from less regulation. Energy stocks and cryptocurrencies also performed well, while shares of Trump Media and Technology Group, in which Trump owns a majority stake, soared nearly 24% before trading was halted, and Tesla stock surged as much as 15%. After billionaire CEO Elon Musk backed Trump throughout his electoral campaign. Stocks that fell included those of renewable energy firms and companies from China like Alibaba, on fears of escalation in U.S.-China tensions.
Where's the map sitting at now? Let's see. Decision desk. Let's have a look here. So they got Trump at expected 301 so far, called. To Kamala's 226. Called Nevada, I guess, for Trump. And still waiting on Arizona. 67% in. My God. Pathetic. That is pathetic. Zero excuse. Senate, let's see. 52 to 45 as it sits. Projected. Do they have projected? Expected? No. Guess not. Not for the Senate. For the House, I believe. They do. The House currently sits at 210, 195. Expected, projected seats 222 to Democrats 213. Still waiting on Colorado, Arizona, a few other places. All right. Yeah, Arizona, my God. We better check in on that too, by the way. See what the latest is there. Did we skip this one? Oh, weird, it bumped us up to the top of the list. All right. Where were we? Did Wall Street. Here we go. DOJ assistant prosecutor suddenly withdraws case against grandmother who walked inside the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. They're winding down. Thank God. Anthony Vo and his mother Annie Vo walked inside the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021. No one stopped them. No one told them they were trespassing. They stood inside for 27 minutes and then left. They were not violent and did not cause any damage or commit any crime. And now, after what I'm sure was not too much fun for them, after a pretty shitty journey, pardon my French, it's finally over. A lot of people still in there, though. Putin has been asked in person about the election. Says he takes Trump's plan to end the war with Ukraine very seriously, and Russia supports it.
Well, you know, the fact that Mr. Trump, as a presidential candidate, says that he's ready and wants to stop the war in Ukraine, we take that very seriously. Well, I haven't seen his ideas on how exactly he's going to do that, and that is the key question. But I have no doubt that he says that sincerely, and we support that. But, you know, the fact...
Well, we'll see, I guess. We'll see what exactly he does mean. Who knows, actually. Could mean any number of things. Lara Trump on Donald Trump's immediate reaction to winning. I imagine it was entirely expected for him, and he was pretty humble about it.
Were you in the room with him when he knew and realized he won?
Yeah, we were all together. You know, we went over to the convention center just before it was officially called. It looked like it was trending that way. And then we were all sort of backstage there when the official announcement was made that, it had been called, at least by Fox News, that he would be the 47th president. And, I think everybody cheered. He was actually very humble in that moment. And I know this man as a grandfather to my kids, my father-in-law. I've known him for 16 years. I've seen the hell that he's gone through. I've seen his resolve and his courage in the face of unimaginable odds and headwinds. And it was such an important moment, I think, for him. I don't even know if a vindication is the right word, but he deserves it more than any person out there. He has worked harder, and he has done more and had more adverse in coming his way than any other candidate in history ever has, and probably, I hope, ever will. So obviously it was truly incredible to be there in that moment.
Cool. Yeah, I want to see what's going on with Arizona for sure. Waltz tears up at Kamala's concession speech. What a baby. All right.
And to my
Poor Timpon. Poor Timpon. Yeah, Kamala's either going to run for California governor or for president again in 2028. There's no way. President after that, there's no way they're going to go for her again. California governor, I could see. I could see them trying that. But after this failure, I don't think so. Not president. Race has not been called in Arizona. Excuse me. Carrie Lake War Room says, we've just been informed that ballot curing is going exceptionally well. Yeah, I did see about the squirrel, by the way, at Kamala's speech. We're definitely going to get to that. I'm going to pull that up. Thank you for reminding me, Kevin. Good to see you, by the way, out there. Carrie Lake War Room says, we've just been informed that ballot curing is going exceptionally well. We have never seen our grassroots more motivated. We need to keep this going. We can do this. Get involved in ballot cure training there. There's a link. Turning Point Action. If you're out there in Arizona, do it. Do your thing. Let's see this. A whole lot of mudslinging going on, waiting for Kamala. This should be interesting.
Ready to go with a mandate, having won the popular vote like you've never seen before.
Sorry, we all just
5 minutes.
got a 5-minute warning
To go. And
5-minute warning. Yeah, let's go back to senior White House correspondent Jackie Heinrich, live at Howard University. 5-minute warning, Jackie. What do you have?
Yeah, 5-minute warning, not much, except for they just called for a medic behind the DJ booth. We still don't know really who's in this crowd. That was one of the things that the campaign never got us an answer to yesterday, what their connection was to the vice president, how many were here, who was invited. And
were they bussed in?
Now we've seen some
in D.C.
that
I doubt they had to. This is her stomping grounds, I mean.
Recognize just from covering politics in Washington, D.C., but there are several thousand out here waiting. And in the meantime, we're hearing from sources within Democratic circles. There's a lot of mudslinging going on right now, actually, because if you recall, there were...
Oh, man, I bet they're livid with her. She ran the... I was about to curse. Worst campaign I've seen in... I don't even know how long I've been following politics, really, but like ever.
Obama era big names attached to Biden's campaign when it was Biden's campaign. When it became Harris's campaign, some of those Obama people came back in. And now there's a semi-public mudslinging happening over, you've got David Plouffe, for instance, basically blaming President Biden for Harris's loss, saying that he dug a hole so deep she could barely climb out of it. And I'm hearing from Biden loyalists a reaction to that Biden beat Donald Trump, something that David Plouffe certainly didn't do this time around, trying to support Harris. There's been a lot of debate over whether or not replacing Biden was the right idea, or certainly whether the decision to not use him on the campaign trail was a good idea. You recall when Vice President Harris went to Scranton, she didn't even say Joe Biden's name one time. And you saw Harris underperform President Biden, especially among union households. There's also an examination of her performance among Hispanic men in several states, some conservative constituencies who tend to be pro-life. As one source put it, they had a hard time messaging to Latino men in states like Georgia, Arizona, Nevada. Because the progressive messaging does not resonate with those groups. And so
Really? You're kidding.
there's a debate over whether Harris was in fact too liberal of a candidate. Certainly didn't stake herself out to be believable when she tried to take that moderate mantle. So really just a lot of sadness, I think, among people who wanted to see her win and waiting to see what the message is. We're hearing some cheers behind us.
It's completely ridiculous.
I don't see any.
Yeah. They should have known better. I mean, come on. I'm sure people were warning them. It was no secret what she was. So now I guess they're wishing they would have gone with Biden. Not that he would have won either. I mean, he was. You really think he would have lasted another how long did she campaign for? It was 3 months about, right? If you really think he would have lasted another 3 months, and keep in mind, remember they nixed his ass and put Kamala in there for a reason. So why you really think that they're gonna try to convince themselves that Joe Biden would have done better? Maybe he would have done better, but I don't know that I doubt he would have won. There's no way he would have fallen the F apart. And I mean, if that would have happened, Trump could have just whipped him out on another debate and wiped the floor with him. It would have been over. It was already over. Hence them switching him out. All right, let's see. The joy is gone. Wah wah. No joy on those faces. Empty clapping. Blank stares. Thoughts of suicide. If you have such thoughts, call whatever the number is, the suicide hotline. It's very sad. I feel for these people. Don't jump! Don't jump! Don't jump! But for real, don't jump. Okay? Don't jump. Is she flagging Antifa or what? Probably. Let's see.
To the young people who are watching, it is okay to feel sad and disappointed. But please know it's going to be okay. On the campaign, I would often say, when we fight, we win. But here's the thing. Sometimes the fight takes a while. That doesn't mean we won't win. That doesn't mean we won't win. The important thing is don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. Don't ever stop trying to make the world a better place. You have power. You have power. And don't you ever listen when anyone tells you something is impossible.
Inspirational black woman speech.
Because it has never been done before.
This is the moment in the movie where they learn the moral of the story. Even though they lost, they won. Not.
You have the capacity to do extraordinary good in the world. And so to everyone who is watching, do not despair. This is not a time to throw up our hands. This is a time to roll up our sleeves.
Hands up, don't shoot.
This is... The time to organize, to mobilize, and to stay engaged for the sake of freedom and justice and the future that we all know we can build together.
Unburdened by what has been.
Look, many of you know.
One of the downfalls of her, it was a 107-day campaign. Jeez. So it was a little over 3 months. 3.5-ish. One of the downfalls was that she couldn't come up with anything.
I often say on the campaign trail, when we fight, we win.
Okay.
But this time saying,
we
here's the
fight,
thing. Sometimes
we win.
Sometimes the fight takes a while. She went on to say, it's going to be okay.
She spoke for about 12 or 13 minutes there.
Yeah, it was brief.
And she talked about the fight continuing. I do not concede the things that we fought for. Let's bring in our panel with reaction. There she is with Doug Emhoff, who is the current second gentleman.
Trying to be first.
Would have been the first gentleman, but we're not going to see.
It's the world's smallest, the tiniest violin in the world. I can't do it.
See that
Little.
This time.
There you go.
Around. So let's bring in our panel: Bill Hemmer, Dana Perino, Britt Hume, Kayleigh McEnany, and Marie Harf. We did not hear in there, Dana. I'm sorry that I didn't win. I did my best, and I'm sorry that I disappointed you on that front.
Not only that,
Disappointed. Aww.
I don't believe we heard her say Joe Biden's name.
No, we didn't.
Not once.
No, she didn't. Yeah.
And I'm not going to necessarily read into that too much right now. I'm going to save that for the 5 in 18 minutes.
I mean,
and I decide what I'm going to say about it.
she's got to blame someone, guys, and it ain't her. It ain't going to be her, because why would she ever blame herself?
But I do think that's a little strange. I mean, one of the things that it was the downfall of her 107-day campaign was that she couldn't come up with anything that she would distance herself from. She doesn't invite him to her big rally there at the Ellipse, right? Her closing argument statement. She doesn't even invite him. He's on the Zoom call calling people garbage. And then she has this big event. He's not there. And she doesn't even mention him. I don't exactly know what is happening. I will say that I do think that the love story between Melania Trump and President Trump elect and Doug Emhoff and Kamala Harris, great example.
You are now allowed, by the way, to call him the once and future president. How's that? How's that? Little any fans of Arthurian legend out there? Little. It's fun.
For people who can go through a lot together and support each other through all sorts of trials and tribulations. That is a beautiful story that they have together, and I do wish her well. But I think it's pretty obvious why.
Yep. Just like her speech, just like her campaign, all cliche. Is this the full speech? Yeah, the full whopping 12-minute speech. Teleprompter reading session. More like. Oh, I know that portion of that 12 minutes was her basking in the joy.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you all. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, you did it.
Thank you.
Oh, wow.
So let me say, and I love you back. And I love you back. So let me say, my heart is full today.
No, we're not doing it. We're not watching the whole thing. Nope. You guys have already been put through it, so we're not going to do it again. I was just kidding. The evening news. What do we have? What? Oh, it's me. Huh, the evening news with that guy you haven't seen in a long time. Hey, what's up? Who's tagging? Oh, it's Valsky. What's up? I haven't seen you in a bit. Hello, hello. Oh yeah, we follow each other. Claire McCaskill cried on MSNBC today after Kamala gave her concession speech. Cried, like for real cried? Like cry with like actual non-crocodile tears?
I mean, in that mission and that purpose, Claire McCaskill will determine you.
Didn't know lizards could cry.
Okay? I think I'm okay. Tell me what you're thinking.
Well, I'm so proud. I'm so proud of her. I don't think people realize how hard it is to get to where she was.
Oh boy.
As a woman, getting elected DA is not easy, guys. People don't trust women to be in charge of making decisions about life and death and crime.
I wonder why, why wouldn't they trust women? What would possibly possess people to...
Being, frankly, a supervisor in some ways over police. Her fighting through the primary thicket of California politics to become Attorney General. Really hard. I mean, this is really hard stuff. For her to be selected as vice president after what I think she would tell you was a very disappointing presidential race, where I think she kind of lost her footing and was listening too much to consultants, frankly, and wasn't.
Oh, that's what this was?
Who she was.
She was listening. She should have just listened to her heart. If only little Cammy could have listened to her heart and followed her dreams instead of listening to the
really exude who she footing and was listening too much to consultants, frankly.
The consultants.
And wasn't.
Poor little Cammy.
It didn't really exude who she was.
She didn't self-actualize.
Then to be vice president and to step into the most difficult situation in the world, where she had to be completely loyal to Joe Biden and respectful of the fact that he had chosen her, but yet maneuver in a situation. I mean, such political skill. It is just inspiring.
What?
You don't understand what she had to do.
How can you say that in the face of the campaign that Donald Trump just ran? That is political genius.
To get
whatever Kamala was a wet fart.
To this moment. And so I'm just very proud of her.
Oh, get out. No. Nope.
I don't.
You're done. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Go home to mommy. Yeah. The world reacts to Donald Trump's historic 2024 presidential election win in the newspaper front pages. Okay. Sign me up. Let's see the headlines. Yes. Yeah. You're rehired. You're rehired. Trump season 2. Okay. Wow. I like it. These are fantastic. I didn't expect them to be so good. Some French bullshit. Whatever. Greatest comeback in U.S. political history. That's what they're saying. Seems to be the line. The line of the week. That's from the Independent. It's this man's world. Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right. What Trump win means for Kenya. I don't know. Ask well, not the last guy, but the previous last guy. He'll tell you about Kenya. Trump beats Harris, recaptures White House. Beats like with a fist. Careful, you get in trouble for that's awfully misogynistic. Inquirer. Beats. It's a no. Trump takes America. A special issue on a crushing victory in a new political era. I agree with the second part. He's back. Arab news. Trump is back. Trump is back. Now they're getting kind of boring. What have they done again? The Mirror. Guess they're not fans. American Dread. Okay, The Guardian. Come back, King. That is a solid headline. And that he is. Yes, he is. Star Spangled Spanner. Okay. He's done it again. Solid. That's good. I'll give him that. Trump sweeps back. America's golden age. Mm-hmm. Whoosh. Done deal. All right, those are pretty good. We'll call it quits there. Those are good. Good fun. They must have been saving those up like weeks ahead of time. Had tables full of people planning those out. Everyone knew it was coming. Democrats in disarray. Nancy Pelosi is arguing with Donna Brazile at the defeat speech. Fun. They don't look like they're having the greatest time. Can anything be heard there? Let me crank that up again. I can't tell if that's someone else in the area or if that is actually the two of them. Who knows? Can't tell. Like, the audio is too faint. I don't even know if it came through for you guys, but okay. Mark R. Mitchell from Rasmussen. It's pretty solid. Discusses what Kamala Harris's low vote totals indicate about the integrity of the 2020 election. Oh, good. Someone's talking about it. Awesome.
Talk a little bit about.
Ooh, that is loud.
About this disappearing act of the 15 million votes, and also more broadly about the issue of stolen elections.
So let me first say, again, to reiterate, gaslighting does not work. And although Americans don't pore over the news media like we do, they're actually pretty savvy in picking up ridiculous signals. And one of them is, wow, this guy got way more votes than Obama did. And that just makes absolutely no sense, because literally 6 or 7 months into this guy's term, they were chanting FJB at stadiums across the country.
Yeah.
So those two things just absolutely don't add up. And I will say also that he entered office with the lowest approval rating of any president in our history. He didn't even break 55%. And Trump came in at 60, believe it or not, with how much he was hated. So Biden, in our opinion, nothing ever added up. Now, I will say that Joe Biden was up nationally in the polls. And what's incredible is that Trump outperformed all of the state polling that cycle by massive amounts. And the fact that Biden squeaked it out with 0.03% of the battleground electorate is really ridiculous, especially anybody who's watching would see that there's problems. There's video, there's reports of this and that. And so all of that was gaslit as being not evidence. It was turned down by judges. And of course, we all know it was none of the evidence was actually heard with merit. So when we asked right after the election, we got about a number of about 49%, I think, who said it was at least somewhat likely the outcome of 2020 was affected by cheating. But fast forward 4 years, and now the number's up to 66%. So people are just more and more concerned, and they overwhelmingly support election integrity issues like audits and paper ballots and ID. They just never get them. Even Democrats support that stuff. So here we are looking back, and what I'm tweeting this morning about is what is the statute of limitations on election fraud? Very valid question. I think it's 5 years. I think there's an opportunity to put together a pretty impressive RICO case because the evidence has been piling up for the last 4 years. Postal trucks that nobody will admit who paid for them, about all these ballots printed on the right. Stop me if I'm going too far for YouTube, to be honest with you.
No.
I mean, how heavy is YouTube about going after that kind of stuff? I wonder what they're gonna do this time around. Because
talk a little bit about
I don't know. Like there was clearly some odd stuff happening this time around in Pennsylvania, potentially, along with some other places. We'll see. We'll wait for the law to sort it out. Trump seems to be of the opinion that law enforcement is coming. It's a direct quote from him in Philadelphia. So we'll see. I mean, at a certain point, you can't ignore it, really, you know? By the way, hello to everyone on YouTube again. Good to see you out there. What are we at now? 60-something viewers. That's cool. Hello, hello. Good to see you. Good to be back. See a few new people out there. LOS Inc. I don't know if you're still here. Scott O'Rourke. How you doing? Citizen. Hello, hello. I see Mr. Paul Slack out there too. Hello. How you doing, sir? Teresa's mom, hello. All kinds of fun going on. Awesome. Okay. U.S. approves $5 billion sale of early warning aircraft to South Korea. Rebel News billboard truck congratulates Trump on his election victory outside of CBC Toronto HQ, where last night one of the state broadcaster's hosts compared Trump to Hitler. Good fun. Nice. I bet that ticks some people off there. Yeah. Toronto. Newsmax. Corey Lewandowski commenting. Okay. Curious to see what he has to say.
Okay, joining us now with...
Oh, hold on. There we go.
Okay, joining us now with reaction, Trump's senior campaign official, Corey Lewandowski. Corey, good to see you today. I know you got to be feeling good. We could take this conversation so many different ways. Let's just start off with how you're feeling, how the campaign, it's not a campaign anymore, how everyone in the Trump camp is feeling today.
Well, it's a vindication, and obviously, Katrina and Bob, you've seen what the mainstream media has said about Donald Trump, and they told us how women were going to turn out in record numbers to support Vice President Harris. That obviously didn't occur. Not only that, but Donald Trump outperformed her by 5 points amongst women. He outperformed her amongst Hispanics. He outperformed her on young voters. And so, listen, this election last night was an opportunity for the American people to take back their country, to get economic security and freedom for themselves, and to make sure that their families will be safer by having Donald Trump finish the border wall. And those are the issues that really resonated, regardless of race, religion, or ethnicity, when people went to the ballot yesterday.
Corey, last time we saw you, I believe it was last week, I think, it all blends, right? You were in a motorcade en route to another, millionth, so to speak, campaign event. Everything, of course, very different today. Tell me about the moment behind the scenes last night when the entire Trump team,
I'd love to hear about
campaign, the insiders, the supporters are watching all the returns come in. At what point did you all say, "Oh my gosh, I think we have it"?
Well, it was interesting. We were at Mar-a-Lago. The president was watching the results with a series of supporters.
Nice.
He was seated at a center table in the big ballroom at Mar-a-Lago, and Elon Musk was there, and Dana White, a number of other people. And we were watching, amongst other things, the New York Times, which is not exactly a fan of Donald Trump. We watched the tracker go from 60% probability to 70% probability to 80 to 90. And obviously, you know, us campaign individuals knew that things were turning in the right direction. There was obviously a hesitation by some of the networks.
Yeah, when Polymarket odds went through the roof, it was in the bag right then and there.
If he were declared the winner in Pennsylvania, statistically speaking, the race was over. That's exactly what happened. And look, for a lot of us who've been on this journey for almost a decade now, there was a sense of relief, a little bit of melancholiness, I think, among some of us, but really excitement for not only the president and his family, but for the country.
Corey, I think, though, we got to talk about the fact that President Trump has been able to expand this party, the Republican Party, the GOP, the MAGA movement, by leaps and bounds. A lot of people said before he came into the picture, this party was dead.
Yeah, it was.
I want to bring up a soundbite from last night.
I mean, literally, it was a dead and or dying party. It was no young people were being brought in, no energy whatsoever. If it weren't for him, I mean, it would have been, I don't need to really say it, but it would have been bad. Yeah.
Been so historic in so many ways. We've built the biggest, the broadest, the most unified coalition, young and old, men and women, rural and urban. They came from all corners, union, non-union, African American, Hispanic American, Asian American, Arab American, Muslim American. We had everybody, and it was beautiful. It was a historic realignment.
And he had to do it with Democrats, mainstream media. We're mainstream now, but liberal media throwing everything you could possibly think of at him. It's a remarkable accomplishment.
It really was.
It's never going to be seen again. Look, it was historic, the coalition that Donald Trump put together, what he's built over the last 10 years, fundamentally reforming the Republican Party into a party of inclusion now. And so we're the party of the working men and women, and that was
unfortunate in some respects, but had to be done in others in order to win. Okay. I mean, yeah, unfortunate in that it meant compromising on certain things. But again, it's just political reality. It had to happen. It had to happen the way it happened. Because the alternative was complete and total destruction. I mean, you at least cross this hurdle, you can hope to bring people around on those issues that we had to compromise on. Give people time, maybe they will continue to move further and further in our direction. All those independents that jumped ship and left the left, you know. This dude is hoping for one of those unexpected Trump pardons. Avenatti. Congratulations to President Trump on his unprecedented dominant result. There is no denying his instincts, toughness, and resiliency. Oh, the creepy porn lawyer. I don't know that a pardon is going to be forthcoming, sir. But best of luck. Republicans retake the Michigan House. No way. Making Governor Gretchen Whitmer a lame duck. That's freaking awesome. Wow. Okay. Yeah, they lost the House back in 2022. And then 2 years later, they've retaken it, winning 3 of the 4 races they targeted. Awesome. Very good. Hopefully they can clean house up there for real. Fox News broadcasts awkward hot mic comment after Trump victory from who? Who was it?
You know, the question is what the Republican Party looks like now. And Kaylee, it's a multiracial party, to your point. It's working class, and maybe it's the future. I mean, it's Elon Musk. It is Joe Rogan and podcast. It is...
What did it say?
It is Joe Rogan.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. I wonder who it was. Oh, man. They apparently did not like Musk being mentioned in that respect. Okay. Success has always been Trump's #1 priority. Oh, this is Carolyn Levitt, campaign spokesperson.
Donald Trump elected 47th president of the United States. Trump winning the key battleground states of North Carolina, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Georgia. Meanwhile, Michigan, Nevada, and Arizona are still close to call this morning. Trump also won the popular vote, something a Republican has not done in 20 years. Here's what the former president had to say in his victory speech earlier this morning.
This was, I believe, the greatest political movement of all time. It's going to reach a new level of importance because we're going to help our country heal. We're going to fix everything about our country. And we made history for a reason tonight.
Harris has still not spoken, and instead she plans to address voters
She since has. We've already seen that.
later today, we're told. Joining me now is Trump 2020 Over the Edge.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Maria. Last night was a resounding victory for President Trump.
Yep.
And over the past 721 days since he launched this campaign, our entire team and the president himself have been focused on putting together a large and diverse political movement, reaching out to demographics of voters that the Republican Party and definitely the Democrat Party have long ignored. And we saw that strategy pay off last night. President Trump receiving a historic margin from the Black community, Hispanic American voters turning out in record numbers for President Trump as well. We saw rural voters in the heartland of this country who feel left behind by the political establishment class swamped the polls for President Trump last night. This was more than just an
It's a big deal.
victory. This was a realignment.
That's
of
a
the
start. It's quite a start.
Republican Party and the electorate in this country, and it serves as a damning mandate heading into January 2025. We took the House, we took the Senate, we have the White House. President Trump has a mandate from the American people to get
And then some. Yeah.
in there on day one and to govern on the bold promises that he campaigned on.
This is going to be quite a ride.
To secure our southern border, launch the largest mass deportation operation of illegal immigrants in history, drill baby drill to bring down the cost of living, and end the wars that the Harris-Biden administration have gotten us into.
I mean, President Trump made it a point to go
Bravo. Good. It's good stuff.
into real Democrat strongholds
Yeah.
and talk to the people about the issues. Was there anywhere the Trump campaign thought that he would, overperform or underperform more than expected? What about going into those deep blue regions?
Good question.
It was always President Trump's idea to head into the deep blue regions, particularly New York and New Jersey, which he loves so much. It's his home state. And you look at how he drove up the numbers in these places, ultimately winning the popular vote by nearly 5 million votes. It's just remarkable, and it showed.
That's why he did it. Even though he, of course, likely stood no chance of taking the state itself, getting the energy up there and getting them to try anyway. Like, taking that popular vote, I mean, it obviously, strategically, technically, it doesn't matter when it comes to just taking the Oval, but it does matter. Like, it drives home the mandate. Taking the House, Senate, and the Oval Office. And the popular vote. Having that on, it's like the cherry on top. It's a big deal. Teary-eyed Nancy Pelosi arrives to see Kamala Harris concede. Wah, wah, wah. Oh, the teacher, this psycho. This is... Oh, God.
I'm trying so hard to pull it together because I have to go into work. And I don't want any of the kids to know how scared I am. Because how am I supposed to go in there and tell them to embrace who they truly are, to support people, to love people, to care about people?
You're not gonna tell them to love people now?
To believe that
Because you lost?
they can do anything.
What's that gonna teach them?
But tonight proved that that's not a reality. Like,
Or it proved that you don't live in reality. But okay.
I don't know about you, but I was raised to be kind to people, to treat people like they deserve to be treated, to...
Then why are you condemning half the country, ma'am?
help those who are down, to not judge. And unfortunately, I just feel like every principle I was raised on isn't valued anymore.
That is the most... Have you ever tried visiting a town where these people that you hate so much live? It's nice. People are polite and kind. They care about one another. They know each other.
The fact that I work in education, talking about like defunding the Department of Education, like getting rid of it. I work
Oh
in
no.
mental health, like
States will run education now.
I have medical things that can make pregnancy really complicated for me. And for the
Oh, and you think somehow you're not going to get treated? Why?
First time.
Why? What on earth would make you think that you wouldn't get medical treatment for something that threatens your life? What on earth makes you think that? That is ridiculous.
I'm actually like scared. And I'm normally not somebody who's like that. But I'm getting on here. Like, I hate
sad.
But I'm getting on here because I know I'm not alone.
Jeez, dude. It's a teacher. GOP source in Arizona. Carrie Lake has a 60 to 70% chance of victory right now, given the outstanding ballots. If true, wow. We'll see. Let's hope so. That was about an hour ago. Aw, Lily Tang Williams did not win. She says, even though I didn't win, I'm so happy to see Trump won. New Hampshire GOP had big victories to keep the Granite State red. Congrats to all of you. My hometown Lear gave me 3,405 votes versus 2,191 to my opponent. When your neighbors support you, that means a lot. What a wild ride in these 5 days. I came in short, but I feel like a winner. Aw, I like her. She's sweet. Nice lady. Here's a reminder, the jury pool all J6ers faced and all venue changes were denied. Wow. DC. 92.5% for Harris. Gavin Newsom. Kamala Harris set out to fight to defend our fundamental freedoms and build a country that works for everyone. She stood up for working families, decency, and opportunity. Though this is not the outcome we wanted, our fight for freedom and opportunity for Gavin and Gavin's friends endures. California will seek to work with the incoming president. But let there be no mistake. We intend to stand with states across our nation to defend our Constitution and uphold the rule of law. Are you kidding me, sir? federalism is the cornerstone of our democracy. It's the United States of America. Well, this federal government dictatorship thing is a relatively recent invention, Gavin. States used to have a lot more leeway than they do now. And things were better when it was that way. Pretty safe to say. Not everything, but more than not. Here's the squirrel. Ah, yes. There to support Peanut. Oh, it looks like that's not just any squirrel, you guys. That is one of DC's famous black squirrels. That's right. We've got black squirrels. Even our squirrels are black here. Just about every resident of DC is black, including the squirrels. I'm not kidding. It's a thing. They came here in the 1800s. It was like a gift from some German asshole or something like that. Or maybe like they went to Canada first from some German asshole, and then they got gifted here and like let out of the zoo. They were in the zoo, I believe, and then were like let out, made it out into the park, out of the zoo, and that was that. From then on, DC had black squirrels. It's an interesting story. Let me see if we can find it. There they are, black squirrels. It was early 1900s. That was close. They originated from 18 black morphs captured at Rondeau Provincial Park in Ontario and released in the parks around the National Mall in 1902 and in 1906 by Teddy Roosevelt. There remains a level of uncertainty as to why the black morphs were introduced into the National Mall, although representatives from the Smithsonian suggest their introduction may have been part of a larger effort to revitalize the local eastern gray squirrel population whittled down by human hunting. Interesting. Smithsonian? How does Smithsonian come into this? I guess they just kind of track the history of it. Interesting. Okay. So I was misremembering that detail about the museum. That's how the museum enters into it, or the what do you call it? It wasn't a zoo. It was a museum. Yeah. So by 1960s, the black morphs had spread beyond the parks surrounding the National Mall and were largely contained by the Capitol Beltway. In 2005, it was estimated that black morphs comprised between 5 and 25% of all of the squirrels in the area. Look at the cute little guys. Isn't they cute? Yeah, they're fun. Poor Peanut. Poor Peanut. So sad. He didn't have to die. But the government just did government stuff. Statement on control of the House of Representatives in 2025 from Hakeem Jeffries. What? In a challenging electoral environment, House Democrats are once again defying political gravity. Over the past 2 years, we have repeatedly put people over politics and focused on lowering costs, growing the middle class. Yeah, well, that's done. Have you done with that again? And keeping our communities safe. In the new Congress, House Democrats will continue to govern with common sense and conviction. As a result of the enduring strength of our battle-tested incumbents, critical open seat holds in Virginia and Michigan, victories in Alabama and Louisiana, and flipping 4 Republican-held seats in New York this year, the House remains very much in play. The path to take back the majority now runs through 2 close-to-call pickup opportunities in Arizona, Oregon, and Iowa, along with several Democratic-leaning districts in Southern California and the Central Valley. The party that will hold the majority in the House of Representatives in January 2025 has yet to be determined. We must count every vote. Huh. And when did he put this out? That was today, 1:30 p.m. Weird. I don't know. Seemed like they called it for us. Why does Hakeem think differently? They're gonna try to fraud their way into at least getting a couple House seats? Not that anyone would ever do anything like that, you know. National Pulse. Dems in open internecine warfare. In the beginning stages of a civil war over President-elect Donald J. Trump's crushing defeat of Kamala Harris, a senior Harris-Walz campaign official is trying to pin the blame on Joe Biden, saying he will hold a lot of blame for the defeat and adding, frankly, he should. Biden was largely sidelined by the Harris-Walz campaign. Yep, I don't know how you can try to blame Joe Biden at this point. What an absurd notion. It was Kamala Harris and no one else. New excuse just dropped. Trump beat Harris because of the WWE wrestling?
My generation, Generation X, the people who grew up on WWE and Hulk Hogan and Donald Trump.
Oh my gosh.
Did this. They did this. They are the ones who looked in the face of somebody who said, I want to be a dictator on day one. We did this. My generation.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Come on, brother. That's right, brother. There you go. We did it, brother. In case you missed it, Kamala Harris supporters leave her concession speech at Howard in tears, including grown men. Wah wah. Okay, where's the tears? Show me the tears. Ah. Where's the male tears? How pitiful. Wow. All right. Meet Timothy Black, a physics professor at UNC Wilmington, who talks about the self-control he has to not verbally attack students who support President Trump and call them fascist morons. He apparently doesn't have the self-control to keep from talking about it on Facebook. But oh well. I mean, hey, you can't win them all. This is very alarming that a professor who appears so unstable is teaching students, some of whom are Republicans. The university responded to our request for comment, stating they are aware of the post and support his freedom to publicly write such comments. Wow. A physics professor. This morning, I saw a student, not a physics major, sitting in the hallway of our building, wearing a red MAGA hat. To my great credit, I did not call her a fascist moron in front of her friends, even though that would have been completely warranted, because I am a grown-up. I don't need to tell every fascist moron I see that they are a fascist moron, especially because they are not physics majors, and so I will never have to encounter their fascist stupidity again. Unless Trump wins and she is part of the group of jackbooted thugs sent to carry me off to the camps, of course. Let's give a big shout out for me and my profound discretion and charity. Hooray for me. These people are like, what kind of person writes a freaking post like that? This self-congratulatory, like, to my great credit. Are you kidding me? I guess not. I guess they're not kidding. It's like 100% serious. It's crazy. Oh man. We got fires. Evacuation updates on Mountain Fire. Where's the fire?
Hi, I'm Sergeant Monica Smith, and I know that this is a stressful time.
Dang, you a sheriff?
And we want all of our community members to stay safe during this mountain fire. It started in Moore Park this morning and is quickly moving its way towards Satakoy. Please log on to BC Emergency.
Anyone feel like committing arson? I mean, I could get arrested. Like,
.com for the most up-to-date
I'm kidding.
road closures and evacuation orders. In addition,
What is she even doing, like, as a sheriff though? Like, she's gorgeous. She's beautiful.
and if you have large animals, the Ventura County Fairgrounds is open, and for small animals, the Camarillo Animal Shelter is open. We will continue to update you as we get information, but please log on to bcemergency.com for the most up-to-date and current information. Stay safe.
Yikes. It's scary. Somehow, I think it'll all be okay. Just look into those eyes. Everything will be fine. The majority of Americans have entrusted us with this important responsibility, Melania Trump says. We will safeguard the heart of our republic, freedom. I anticipate the citizens of our nation rejoining in commitment to each other and rising above ideology for the sake of individual liberty, economic prosperity, and security. American energy, skill, and initiative will bring together our best minds to propel our nation forward forevermore. Mm-hmm. Am I following her? Nope. Bing. Bong. J.D. Vance's Senate seat in Ohio is open. Vivek Ramaswamy is from Ohio. That's right. Yeah. Mike DeWine needs to do the right thing and give him the first right of refusal for that seat. Though Vivek doesn't want to work in the legislative branch. Heard him say that a few times in interviews. I think he'd be better put elsewhere, personally. 20 million votes dropped off the Democratic ticket from 2020. Yes, they're talking about it. Yes, yes, yes. Good.
I'm looking for just 20 million votes because 20 million votes dropped off the Democratic ticket. Where did they go from 2020? Did they die? Did they leave the country? Or did they just sit at home and sit on their hands because they didn't like Kamala Harris?
Poof!
They're
Just
gone.
in the thin air.
Yeah.
I can tell you, in Pennsylvania, we were trying to find these people.
Yep.
A 31.2%, we were actually comfortable we could account for where they went.
Yep.
But I don't know about the other almost 2/3. That 1/3 basically told us that they were told Trump was Hitler in 20, COVID was all his fault, everything that was going wrong in the economy with the shutdown, everything was his fault, and if only we had somebody else, then pandemic would, we would shut down the pandemic, not the economy. And then also, by the way, Joe Biden is not senile, right? I don't know how you get through it. Once the emperor had no clothes. And once you get exposed with that, we had voters just telling us, I'm not ready to vote for Trump, but I'm sure not going to reward them for this. And then I think it's also important to note, this was an experiment. Kamala Harris. Nobody has ever voted for this woman, John, for anything. And they decided that the legitimate, whether you love him or you hate him, Joe Biden was the legitimate nominee of the Democratic Party. They removed him at the behest of the donors. Jake Tapper spearheaded this campaign to get rid of him with the pressure campaign. And the next thing you know, they install her, and nobody knew who she was.
Yeah, the emperor had no clothes, and the successor had few coherent sentences, and that was a bad transition. I got to tell you, it was pretty ugly.
Yep, you can say that again. Excuse me. CBS characterizes control of the U.S. House as lean Republican as of 14 minutes ago. Current count as it stands, they have at 211 to 203 with, well, decent number yet to decide. Oh, thank you, Velsky. An advisor to, oh, love that kitty. Does very good digging. An advisor to RFK Jr. says that the Obamas have flown the coop, aka left the country. Oh, this guy. Yeah, he's been saying a whole bunch of like wild shit. I mean, not terribly wild, but I think the other thing I saw him say was that he had heard through his sources that like a number of big pharma execs or CEOs were going to be holding an emergency teleconference, and that people were worried, or I forget exactly what he said. It was something to that effect. He offers no proof. He just says sources, so, you know, who knows? Who knows? We'll probably know pretty quickly whether this is bullshit or not. I imagine within a day or so. They're not just gonna go completely off radar. There's no way. Not right now. So we'll see. We'll see either way before too much longer. But yeah, I guess he does have some kind of tie to RFK Jr. advisor, some kind of advisor, but that could mean anything. I don't know. Let's see. Do you remember her? Shelley Luther? No, not off the top of my head. Former Dallas salon owner jailed during COVID. Wins Texas House District 62. Oh. I don't know. Yeah, at the top of my head. No, I don't remember, but let's see. Is this like an ad or something? No, it's the live local news feed. Let's see. Well, okay, there's an article. There we go. Gotcha. Luther defeated Democrat Tiffany Drake Tuesday night, earning more than 75% of the vote. Dang, way to go. She made national headlines when she reopened her far north Dallas salon in defiance of countywide restrictions. She was jailed for 7 days in 2020 after a Dallas County judge found her guilty of civil and criminal contempt of court. She was fined $1,000 for each day her salon was open after a court ordered it closed. She unsuccessfully ran for state senate in 2020, losing in a runoff to Drew Springer in District 30, then lost to incumbent Reggie Smith in the 2022 Republican primary for Texas House District 62. Luther defeated Smith in the March 5th primary to move on to the 2024 general election, and took it. Way to go, lady. That's how it's done. Davis blowing the lid on lawfare. When Trump gets back in office, he will publicly release crossfire hurricane evidence. Hold up. Okay, let's check this out.
President Trump was a political novice when he ran in 2016. You did a fantastic job for him, Steve, but he had never run for office. In his first run for office, he wins the presidency of the United States. And I think he's even admitted this, that he made serious personnel decisions during his first term. He's not going to do that in his second term. He has learned his mistakes of his first term, and he's sure the hell not going to let the intel agencies, the military industrial complex, the law enforcement agencies, particularly the FBI, hobble his presidency like they hobbled his first term with their bogus crossfire hurricane investigation on President Trump. They made up the Russian collusion hoax to go after President Trump because Hillary Clinton had her illegal home server as the Secretary of State with our nation's most classified secrets, and more problematically, for Hillary. The Clinton Foundation pay for, play for, and bribery scheme. She's the Secretary of State. The Clinton Foundation has taken tens of millions of dollars from foreign entities. And who knows, that server could have had quid pro quo foreign corruption. And so they made up the Russian collusion hoax in 2016 Crossfire Hurricane investigation where Obama, Biden, the AG, the FBI, Comey, they made up Crossfire Hurricane. They went to the FISA court. They got an illegal spy warrant. They used the Steele dossier from Perkins Coie. This is all made up evidence. This is the biggest scandal in American history. That's what this lawfare against Trump is all about. They were terrified Trump was going to publicly release Crossfire Hurricane the day he left office. Back in January of 2021, he declassified those records. The White House Chief of Staff ordered their release. The FBI never released them after Trump left office. Instead, they did the Mar-a-Lago raid, right? And it's led to this unprecedented lawfare. And that is what they are terrified of. When Trump gets back into office on January 20th, he's going to publicly release Crossfire Hurricane, and it is game over to all these bad actors, political actors, legal actors, law enforcement actors, intel actors who were part of this criminal conspiracy called Crossfire Hurricane.
The president-elect is riding a wave of momentum, but the Democratic Party dealing right now with a political tsunami. There are flaws in the party.
President Trump was a political novice.
The outcome of this election is not what we wanted.
For Kamala Harris and Democrats, President-elect Donald Trump's decisive win means her party has to regroup politically.
Well, I think that regroup is the understatement. I think we really have to take this election and a couple of previous elections and turn them upside down, look at them inside out.
Matt Engel is founder and director of the Lone Star Project, Democratic consultant. What went wrong?
I think what a lot of it is that we talk about a lot of we issues, a lot of high-minded things that are important. They're important to the well-being of the country. They're important to the well-being of the world, but we don't talk about enough me issues, about how people are going to make their next car payment, their next house payment, about the frustrations they have.
We're going to have a great 4 years.
That disconnect translated to a Republican winning the popular vote in a presidential election for the first time in 20 years.
Winning the popular vote was not on my bingo card, and really to win this big and even to know on election night.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. I was muted for YouTube. There we go. Because of that. Freaking garbage. Anyway, as I was saying, here's the Trumps and Elon. I was commenting on the gorgeous building. What a place. Wonder what all this depicts here behind them. Wonder what that is. Such a fascinating house. If you can even call it a house. Incredible. All right, 2024's biggest losers, the corporate media industrial complex, I'll say. Kamala Harris is only the second biggest loser of the night. Her media shills are nursing wounds that will take far longer to recover from. Yep. Yeah, they made a complete flop of this. They wrecked it. Hilarious. Jim Jordan and Greta Van Susteren. Here we go.
2 federal cases, the one out of Florida, classified documents, the one out of here in D.C., January 6th, they go away.
Yeah, they should go away. In fact, I think former Attorney General Barr said they should all go. Because, I mean, you just can't have state prosecutors and certainly not federal prosecutors going after the President of the United States. And in these cases, as we know, Greta, they're completely driven by politics. It's not about the rule of law. It's not a proper type of prosecution. It's all political lawfare type cases. That, frankly, is why they're all falling apart. And yeah, they should all go away.
Well, that brings me to another issue. Assuming that the Republicans hold the House, and assuming that you're still the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, are you going to get all the documents from these cases? Because you said that lawfare has been going on. I mean, all the special counsel, we've spent a fortune as taxpayers. I'd sort of like to know what was going on, all the communications. The case will be over. There's no reason to keep them. That, and what about that audio tape that you subpoenaed from the Attorney General of President Biden speaking to Special Counsel Hurt? Will you finally get that audio tape? Because once there's a new administration and a new sheriff in town, I assume you get those documents and recordings.
Yeah, and obviously we went to court over the her audio tapes when he interviewed President Biden. So we're in court over that. But yeah, we want to get all that information, not to mention the information that the FBI has, that the DOJ has relative to Iran hacking President Trump's campaign, all kinds of information we want to get. So part of our job is oversight as members of the Congress. As part of our constitutional duty, we want the information we've been trying to get, so we'll continue to go after that. Should have a better chance of getting that information in the Trump administration than we did in the Biden administration.
Well, I felt sort of like a voyeur watching from the outside, and there have been a lot of allegations going back and forth, a lot of things I haven't liked about the way it was conducted by the special counsel. So I'd like to see the documents so that I,
Sure.
like every other American, we make an assessment. All right, the two other cases, the state cases, the New York case, a sentencing date coming up in that New York case and in the Georgia, those are state cases. So what becomes of those? That's not the federal case where that goes away when Jack Smith goes away.
Well, I hope they go away as well, but you're right. The Alvin Bragg is set. There's a sentencing supposed to happen with President Trump at some point. There has been postponed a couple times, but I hope those go away, just like the federal cases should go away. But we'll see. But my gut tells me they go away as well. And the country, look, I actually think the Democrats way overplayed this. This political prosecution, I think, backfired on the Democrats. And I go to one of the turning points, I think, was 2 years ago when they actually, Jack Smith, the FBI, raided President Trump's home. And all of us, I think so many Americans look at this like, what is going on? This is not the kind of thing that's supposed to happen in the greatest country ever. This is not how we operate. But when we saw that, I think that was sort of the start of it. And then all this happened over the last 2 years. I think it backfired on them. And I think the people spoke loud and clear on a number of issues. But certainly this lawfare, this political prosecution issue was one of the issues that drove people to vote the way they did yesterday.
Oh, yeah, you bet your ass. For sure. I'd like to see Jordan actually do something this time around. We'll see whether that actually happens. Oh boy, Jake Lang, huh? Speaks out from prison cell. There are a lot of J6ers that believe he is a Fed. Personally, I have no idea. But he's done some sketchy things. Supported some sketchy things, started some sketchy things, said a whole bunch of weird crap, and I don't know, man. Just don't know about this guy. Interesting. All right. Here's our statement on the results of the 2024 presidential election. Obama. From just a couple hours ago. Let's read this out. Statement by President and Mrs. Obama. Yep. Oh. It's quite big. Jeez. Unnecessarily big. Why is that such a big file? Hey, hiding something in this? I wonder. Statement by President and Mrs. Obama on the 2024 presidential election. Over the last few weeks and through Election Day, millions of Americans cast their votes, not just for president, but for leaders at every level. Now the results are in, and we want to congratulate President Trump and Senator Vance on their victory. Excuse me. This is obviously not the outcome we had hoped for, given our profound disagreements with the Republican ticket on a whole host of issues, but living in a democracy is about recognizing that our point of view won't always win out, and being willing to accept the peaceful transfer of power. Michelle and I could not be prouder of Vice President Harris and Governor Walz. to extraordinary public servants who ran a remarkable campaign, and we will always be grateful to the staff and volunteers who poured their heart and soul into electing public servants they truly believed in. Yeah. As I said on the campaign trail, America's been through a lot over the last few years, from a historic pandemic and price hikes resulting from the pandemic to rapid change and the feeling a lot of folks have with that, if no matter how hard they work, treading water is the best they can do. Those conditions have created headwinds for Democratic incumbents around the world, and last night showed that America is not immune. The good news is that these problems are solvable, but only if we listen to each other, and only if we abide by the core constitutional principles and democratic norms that have made this country great. In a country as big and diverse as ours, we won't always see eye to eye on everything, but progress requires us to extend good faith and grace even to people with whom we deeply disagree. That's how we've come this far, and it's how we'll keep building a country that is more fair and more just, more equal and more free. Well, it sounds like they're preparing to shift their efforts down the line a bit. Maybe try to prepare for 4 years from now, rather than making a go of it right now. Hope they make it, and just hope they make it 4 years without getting in trouble for some of the things that they've done. Allegedly, maybe. We'll see. RFK Jr. here, let's see. Is this with Tucker?
A lot of people think that Trump is a conventional politician because the last time around he initially appointed a lot of very conventional people, of kind of lobbyists, etc.
Yeah.
People don't remember almost his entire cabinet was gone within 2 years.
Yes.
As he learned to govern, and he wants to do, he will do what he wants to do. And I spent 2 days with him recently, and he was saying things that were kind of shocking to me. He was saying things like that, the kind of change, the level of change that he wants to make in our government, I think is going to be unprecedented. And
shocking to you in a good way?
Yeah, in a good way. But just, that it's so impolitic. He's an impolitic guy. And I think he's a guy that does what he wants to do.
Well, can I
give you an example? He wants a revolution, and I think he's going to get one.
Wow, okay. Fascinating. Doug Emhoff blinks back tears as Tim Pon gets emotional. Oh, look at Ella. Poor Ella. She looks very sad that she doesn't get to live in the White House and pretend to be important. Oh, cool. Full Elon Musk and Tucker Carlson. I haven't seen this. This is very quick. It's 15 minutes. Why not? We got time. I haven't seen it yet, so. Oh, look at the little one. That's adorable.
All right, we'll get Mini-Me here.
It certainly is.
Mini-Me, you complete me.
What's your name? What's your name?
It's so cute.
Actually, I'm going to show you.
That's his son? That's cute.
Which one is this?
What's your name?
Actually, I'm going to show you. It does this
we're on TV.
X. This is X. For short, I think. It's like a longer, weird name.
It's wild.
X. Should we help President Trump?
Yeah.
Names his company X. He names his kid X. Like,
so weird.
Weirdo.
Well, you have.
This kid's cute.
He's
It
adorable.
looks like, I mean,
look at
I
him.
started this.
Listen to that voice. I mean, that is just so sweet.
Truth from the mouth of babes.
It looks like.
From the mouth of babes.
I started this. The quiet lead.
I mean, it looked.
I started this the quietly.
Quietly?
He's so
I don't know what you're saying,
cute.
X. But you're getting you have the general vibe.
Yeah,
We're in
you got the
space
vibe.
acts. We quietly just do whatever we want.
We formed SpaceX, I think he said. He's like repeating stuff he's seen his dad said on TV or something. It's so cute. It's kind of cute, kind of sad too. He probably doesn't have much time. I can only imagine. Maybe he does. Maybe he has a lot of time actually to like and freedom to like bring him wherever he wants.
Yeah, he probably takes the kids.
I hope so. For his, they look very happy and cute together. It's
He
adorable.
looks a lot like him.
Yeah. Aw, what a genuine like sweet. This is endearing. Like I like Musk. I don't trust him fully, but I want to. I want to. I like him, and this is like, how can you not like this? This is like adorable.
I like your laugh.
It's so
That's
cute.
a laugh of an honest man.
Yeah.
I think this. What's your assessment? Did this work? Is he going to win?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
What a laugh.
Why is he slapping so much? How much milk has he had to drink tonight?
Done.
But never know.
What did he say?
You think it's done?
Yeah.
It's done. Oh yeah, this is
long, he
100%. So Musk knew it was in the bag too. Oh yeah, I passed out. I was so confident it was done.
He is so
But never know.
But not for long.
For long. So where are we? 89. I mean,
hope so.
okay, so it's 10:52. It's a little earlier than Obama told us we're gonna have to wait a month or something.
You want to know what it is? Start for L.
I mean, I'm looking at the data as it comes in from every county in Pennsylvania,
Oh, he can tell us. It's all right.
He's like, no, don't tell him. Don't tell him the secrets about all the data.
it seems extremely likely that, if not a certainty,
So,
He wants to
so then
talk.
we're done. I mean, are you surprised? Because I'm shocked by how quickly this happened.
I'm not particularly surprised because the
No.
Just
no. Sammy Timo is. Oh, she's so nice. You don't need to worry.
This is adorable.
This is super funny and super cute.
I can't believe I missed all this. This is so sweet. Like,
It's very wholesome.
I think more relevant than the polls is looking at the early voting data. And if you look at the early voting data in Pennsylvania, for example, and you compare the Republican minus Democrat vote across all of the swing states, but certainly in Pennsylvania, the delta was, as of this morning, I believe 602,000. So meaning like the relative to 2020.
Right.
So if you say like, okay, how is President Trump doing relative to 2020? The difference in early voting was over 600,000. The margin of victory, Biden's margin of victory in 2020 was only 80,000, which so a reasonable extrapolation, assuming that, let's assume that the in-person voting is no better than 2020, then you would expect a margin of victory for President Trump of approximately 500,000.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't think you necessarily need to be like some incredible prognosticator if you just look at the data.
But they were telling us, on CNN.
They'll.
but why particularly? What was the point of lying about it? I don't
know if they're lying. Maybe they just don't understand.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been posting on X about this. I literally post the charts and I post the data. I'm just looking at the data.
But how could Trump win? I mean, they indicted him. He's a rapist. He's a criminal.
Because people don't believe
Trump
it.
Like every day for 9 years.
Because it's bullshit.
And he wins bigger this time than in 2016 against a candidate who's outspending him 3-1 all in. How could that happen?
No, it's remarkable. In fact, it's not just that the Kamala puppet machine campaign.
Yeah.
is outspending. It's not the Dems are massively outspending Republicans in the swing states, including any contribution that I make. But you also have the sort of legacy mainstream media, which is overwhelmingly in favor of Kamala. They might as well be an extension of the DNC.
Well, they are. Yeah.
You know, the DNC just sends them whatever the talking points are, and they all just talk like NPCs essentially all day long, instantly. And then you've also got, I mean, God knows how many celebrity endorsements. I mean, it's like sort of running out of, like, there's anyway, call it 80%, 90% of celebrity endorsements on the Dem side. So you basically you have what appears to be a deck that is very much stacked in favor of the Dem. Like you said, like, how can a Republican win at all?
Yeah.
Now, I mean, one of the things that we did do to kind of even the odds was we massively improved the Republican ground game, My America PAC. Massively improved the Republican ground game in the swing states. So the Democrats normally have the best ground game, you know, just in terms of knocking on doors, talking to people.
For sure.
Sounds simple. Just having a good sort of word of mouth virality campaign, having good you know, messaging that appeals to people's specific interests. It just and then making sure people get to the polls. You know, just make sure that people have transport. The Democrats are normally extremely good with getting just you know, making it convenient.
Yep.
Because for a lot of
they have like a single website where you for everything, like you go and find any number of different things that you can do, and it's super easy. It's all literally like right there on the front page. I forget what the freaking website is, and I forget how I stumbled across it, but I was like astounded that we didn't have anything like this. It's so, and it looked easy too. Like, it's just so weird, sad, not good. We need to fix that.
A lot of people, if they'll vote, it's just maybe they don't have a ride. You know? So we just made sure everyone had a ride. We made sure.
Yeah, that was one of the things that was on there, was like finding rides, and
that we paid particular attention to the Amish community in Pennsylvania.
Nice.
It's amazing. Had anyone ever gotten the Amish out to vote before?
Not in significant numbers. But the Democrats did make a mistake because there was government overreach, and with some of the Amish farmers.
Yes.
And you know, they're just, for them, there's no such thing as like organic farming or not organic. They're farmers. They've been farming the same way for a long time, you know. And
they damn well ought to have the freedom to continue living that lifestyle. Like, what is so insane that is ever in question?
And there was some, you know, just government overreach that shut down some Amish farmers, which really, you know, made them pretty upset.
Yep.
You just need to be able to channel that, you know, the fact that they're upset, and like, well, there's a thing you can do about it, which is called voting, and we're happy to, you know, transport you to. They're allowed to ride in vans, if so long as they're not driving the van.
Huh.
So, you know, we're just making sure we bring them to the polls and they vote how they want to vote, which is going to be like 99.9%. Actually, call it 100.
Call it 100 at least.
Call it 100.
So these are raw milk producers.
Yeah.
So you endorsed Trump within minutes of him being shot. I mean, how many? I mean, it was literally minutes, I think, as I remember.
Yeah.
And then you just went more all in than I've ever seen anybody ever go.
Yeah.
What was the? Did you ever doubt, or did you just decide to go all in and you just did it?
I mean, my philosophy is you play to win. You don't play it by half measure. So. Yeah, I mean, as with the team, every day, 7 days a week, just working the early votes in Pennsylvania and other swing states. First registrations. First, like, if people don't register, they can't vote. So the initial focus was just maximizing registrations, and then once the registration deadline was over, just getting the early votes. You know, yeah.
X, from my perspective, played a pivotal role, not just in this election, but in keeping the country alive.
Okay, now we get to the X commercial. All right, we'll keep going. What's this? Yeah. Spent 2 days with Trump recently. He was saying things that were kind of shocking. I think we did this one. Yeah, pretty sure we did. Yeah. After his historic win, Trump is giving out free signed merch to Elon Musk's children at the Mar-a-Lago gift shop. That's cute. Not that they need anything for free, but whatever.
I'll give them a couple of bucks, yeah. Here, I'll show you. Wait. Here, come here. I'm going to give him a book. He can hardly carry it. This book, this is the #1 selling book in the country. And it's hard because it's a big book.
Yeah.
Come on. Can I sign these things? Yeah, I'll sign it.
Oh, nice.
I'll give them a couple of bucks, yeah.
It's so cute.
Here, come here. I'm going to give him a book.
Look at them. They're adorable. Wow. Makes me want to have a kid. Like, I mean, I already want another kid. We already want another kid. At least one more. Like, come on. But geez, they're so cute. They're adorable. I hope people start having more babies. We better. He's right. We do need to have more babies. Elon walking around with little X on his shoulders at Mar-a-Lago. Aw, cute. Aw. God, that must be so weird though. Like everywhere you go, people just whip out the phones. Just entire crowds of people everywhere. So weird. What a strange life to grow up in. Musk expected to spend the night at Mar-a-Lago with Donald Trump as they await election results, of course. So he stayed there. That's neat.
I think I can say, right?
In my state.
I think North Carolina. We're going to win North Carolina. We're going to win Pennsylvania.
She's the best writer on what you call the Rust Belt, I think.
Should we give you a name? Rust Belt's terrible name. Steel Belt.
Steel Belt. There you go.
People like about People like about you. You make things.
Yeah.
People respect
make
people
so
that make things.
I mean, that is my day job.
Right? But
My day jobs.
that is part of the American ethos,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But Starling to North Carolina and no commitment to Georgia. One for
I
audio.
want to thank you for that.
Most welcome, of course.
That's my people.
You guys
Trying to be as helpful as
Thank you,
possible.
sir.
Thank you, darling.
Great in Florida where you can practice without, threat of partisan investigations and all this nonsense.
Oh, cool. Good buds, it seems. The art of the surge account. Where are they at? They got any more?
But her vice presidential.
Oh no, it's all old. Alright. That's pretty cool. Alright, we're down to 30 minutes left here. What else can we do? Where else can we go? We'll go to a few other spots here. Excuse me. Just in, Iowa pollster Ann Seltzer, who underestimated Trump by 16 points, will now review the data after election results. Career ruined. Goodbye. Down the toilet it goes. From 2020. That's great. Has he posted since winning? No. Nothing yet. But he did pin this.
Greatness doesn't discriminate. It doesn't see where you're from, what you look like, or who you know. Greatness is for those who work for it. for those who keep moving forward. Greatness is for anyone willing to fight for it.
Nice. The AP photographed President-elect Donald Trump during his campaign over the past several months. Here is how it was done. Interesting. Okay. Let's see.
Since July, I've been covering former President and now President-elect Trump on the campaign trail. Campaign events such as the election night watch party that happened last night take a lot of teamwork and planning. Usually we have at least 2 AP photographers covering each campaign event, but last night at the party we had 5. I had also set up a remote camera on the stage between a row of flags, and I was hoping to capture Trump as he walked onto the stage. It was a long shot effort, but as you can tell, it worked out.
Nice.
We like to show up
Well
and
done.
take pictures and then leave. It's long days. Thanks for coming along behind the scenes with me. Since July, I've been covering for.
That's cool. I like seeing behind the scenes stuff like that as a camera nerd. That's really cool. Good find stuff. That's quite a shot. That is incredible. Beautiful. What we got here? Save for last. What? Huh? No way. Get out. We'll see what we can find on that. We'll definitely seek this out. See what we can search up. Reports of a military coup in Israel. This is after Netanyahu firing Defense Minister Yoav Gallant yesterday. Oh, I missed that. Hold up. Okay. Israel coup. I mean, if that's true, that's a big deal. We should be able to find something on it somewhere. Nothing there as of yet. Chaos in Tel Aviv, allegedly. I mean, we have no way of knowing when the video's from just yet. Let's watch it. Let's see. First off. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell what's happening exactly. Let's see if there's anything else other than just this one clip. This could end up just being a case of the usual garbage, you know, some old clip being passed off as new. It happens a lot. I always try to look out for it. It all seems to be just the same clip. So, I don't know. I'm gonna brand it iffy. Pretty iffy. I would think there would be a lot more than just one clip, just based on how big they're alleging this to be. And just kind of based on how brief and kind of like non-specific the clip is. Guessing it's a disinfo kind of thing. Just a guess though. Who knows? Source all seems to run back to this guy. Yeah, seeing nothing else about it, so. Nope. All the same thing. I don't know, man. I'm gonna go ahead and assume it's probably bullshit. This is hours ago. This started making the rounds, and I think that by now more would have come out. If it were legit. Let's see. Any more here? Under latest. Nothing. Just that same clip. Just that same thing over and over. Yeah, I'd be careful with that one for now. Just that's just me. What's next? Where were we? Salte, what's up? May 2020. What do we get? What is this? What we got?
You guys know what this represents?
Tell us.
Maybe it's the calm before the storm. Let's get going with the calm before the storm.
Shame on you, Chairman Nassar. Shame on you. You've broken your oath. But you know what? Keep doing it. Keep doing it because the American people see through it. It's going to work in President Trump's favor. Keep it up.
Well, it feels at times like being in the eye of the hurricane. You can never tell when you're going to step out of the eye into gale force winds.
The country needs a credible resolution to these issues. And if confirmed, I will not permit partisan politics, personal interests, or any other improper consideration to interfere with this or any other investigation. I will follow the special counsel regulations scrupulously and in good faith, and on my watch, Bob will be allowed to finish his work.
The testimony you're about to give is true and correct to the best of your knowledge, information, and belief, so help you God.
To what extent did the Russian government interfere in the 2016 presidential election?
Could you repeat that, ma'am?
Outside my purview.
That's outside my purview. That's beyond my purview. I can't speak to that.
You can't speak to that? After 22 months of investigation, there's not any evidence in that document before us that any voter changed their vote because of their interference. And I'm asking you, based on all of the documents that you reviewed.
That was outside our purview.
Sir, the Constitution says treason is punishable by death. You've accused your adversaries of treason. Who specifically are you accusing of treason?
Well, I think a number of people, and I think what you look is that they have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
Let me take it to Twitter. The president talking about it at length once again, and he is fired up, let me tell you. He says, look how things have turned around on the criminal deep state. They go after phony collusion with Russia, a made-up scam, and end up getting caught in a major spy scandal, the likes of which this country may never have seen before. He adds this, what goes around comes around.
The only question about what the Obama administration was up to is which agencies weren't involved. Now we know it's the FBI, the CIA, the Justice Department, the State Department, the Defense Department, the NSA, and of course, President Obama and the White House National Security Council.
Oh, and there's James. He's become more famous than me.
What's going, Mr. President?
You have to focus on this because it can get away very quickly, no matter who you have with you, it can get away very quickly. It was a disgrace. Had I not fired James Comey, who was a disaster, by the way, it's possible I wouldn't even be standing here right now. We caught him in the act. Dirty cops, bad people.
Why aren't people going to prison for what they did to the president? On the other side, throw Bill Barr in prison. And these things take time.
It was evil, it was corrupt, it was dirty cops, it was leakers and liars, and this should never ever happen to another president, ever.
You know, it is
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
I think in light of all of the things going on, and you know what I mean by that, the fake news, the Comeys of the world, all of the bad things that went on, it's called the swamp. And you know what happened? And you know what I did? A big favor. I caught the swamp. I caught them all. Let's see what happens.
Excellent. I think we may get a resolution to a good bit of that at some point over the next 4 years. Maybe quicker than we think. Great video. Well done, Salty. Very good. Oh, thank you. Okay, so there is a bit more rolling in here. It's some good find. I hadn't seen this. I don't know why that wasn't showing up when we searched. Excuse me. Major civil unrest in Israel since the firing of Gallant. Yeah, okay. So this is maybe since yesterday. Illegal settlers marching towards the Knesset, clashes between members of the Knesset and the police. Let's see. Excuse me, jeez. Wish I could understand what they're saying. God, if they could like show a sign, I could translate it. Any signs? So who all is clashing here? Who is this? Kind of hard to tell who's who. And then just a photo. Wow, that's quite a photo too. Dang. Excellent photo. Is there more here? Hold on. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna go check out that. We'll check her account. Okay, no, never mind. That's the same one we've seen. Gotcha. And then that's pretty old. That's October 2023. Oh, okay, thank you. Here's Steph tagging something on, okay, the defense chief getting sacked from the Guardian. Netanyahu's sacking of defense chief, last thing Israel needs, says president. Who's president again? I don't know. I don't see the name here. Oh well. Critics dismayed at timing of dismissal amid war and on day of U.S. election. Interesting move. Just that alone. I wonder what the deal is. And more may come for Prime Minister's political gain. Okay, here's some more. A compilation of footage. Well, shit. I mean, maybe then. So, what was the claim in the original video? Where'd it go? that... Oh, a military coup. A military coup against Netanyahu. I mean, that would really be something if true. That would be wild. So I guess that's the big question: is the military coup thing actually happening, or is it just limited to these street protests? I wonder. All right, hold on. Let's go back to this. Let's keep looking on through this. Okay, they interview people. All right, let's see. Cool. About 1,000 people marched outside Netanyahu's home in Jerusalem. Gallant said his dismissal was triggered by disputes over the conscription of ultra-Orthodox Jews. Huh. So wait, was he in favor of it or against it? I don't know. Tonight is a spontaneous outburst of rage because we've had enough. And this firing of the only minister that still had some thoughts for the hostages is completely BS. We need to put them in jail.
I'm here tonight because the government is again failing us. In the middle of a war, they are really firing a minister that is the only minister that we thought he cares. He cares for the people that are abducted in Gaza, and he cares for the soldiers, and he really cares for the country.
Hold on. Go back to that. Okay, Gallant and Netanyahu have had major differences over the war in Gaza. I wonder over what specifically. Huh. And how the country should retrieve its hostages. Gallant has been replaced by Foreign Minister Israel Katz. Interesting. Wow. More here. Rabbi E. Pupko. Okay. No matter what your politics are, the fact that Netanyahu chose to go for there's a civil war talk again, against the people of Israel in the middle of the worst attack on Israel in its history is unforgivable. Israelis are furious that Netanyahu fired Yoav Gallant and have poured into the streets to protest. There's an aerial view. Look at that. Wow. Well, dang. I mean, color me shocked. I was surprised that they would make such a strange move, like right at the time of the election in the U.S. and amidst all the other stuff. It's weird. Interesting. Really interesting. Disorderly conduct erupted on Aza Street in Jerusalem on Highway 1. I wonder why was none of this showing up when I searched? Like, what the heck? It's infuriating. Just like weird algorithm, just quirk or something. That's so weird. Rioters breached police barricades, blocked roads, and escalated to violence. Police declared it unlawful. This is coming from Israel police, just FYI. Police declared it unlawful and are dispersing the crowd. We will uphold the right to protest, but not tolerate violations of public order.
לכל המפגינים שנמצאים בקו הצומת, אני מכריז על ההתקהלות הזאת כהתקהלות בלתי חוקית. כאן מפקד תחנת מוריה, אני מכריז על ההתקהלות כהתקהלות בלתי חוקית.
Oh, thank you, Roxy. You got translations out there. Thank you. Democracy demands social justice, and Judea and Samaria is ours. Bibi resign. Thank you. Sorry, I missed it out there in YouTube. I was trying to keep an eye, but a Jewish state, not a state under religious law. BB resign. BB go home. The people of Israel live. A general rallying cry of Jewish solidarity and perseverance. Just kind of like a chant they do a lot, I guess. Okay, so that's more or less what they were chanting, according to Grok. Yeah, okay, I didn't know that you could. Well, it's really convenient, so you can use Grok to ask what's being said in the video. That's badass. I gotta use that. Troubled by illegal border crossings, Arizona voters approve state-level immigration enforcement. So we have some developments out of Arizona. This is some ballot measure or something. Should get out of the way. There we go. Arizona voters have approved letting local police arrest migrants suspected of illegally entering the state from Mexico. An authority that would encroach on the federal government's power over immigration enforcement, but would not take effect immediately, if ever. What? With the approval of Prop 314, Arizona becomes the latest state to test the limits of what local authorities can do to curb illegal immigration. Within the past year, GOP lawmakers in Texas, Iowa, and Oklahoma have passed immigration laws. In each case, federal courts have halted the state's efforts to enforce them. Yeah. Current status, not in BOP custody. Carolyn Ellison. Huh? In sentencing, she requested her 2 years be spent in a minimum security facility as close to Boston as possible. No, oh, the crypto hag. FTX. The FTX goblin. That girl. Disorderly conduct on Aza Street. Oh, we saw this already. Yeah. I don't know why it popped me back down there again. It's weird. Riots continue in Israel. Knesset member. Hold on. Get back there. Knesset member Gilad Kariv is seen physically confronting police. Zionist politicians openly calling for and taking part in civil disturbances, and major trade unions calling for a general strike. It seems the situation is escalating. Wow. Oh, hold on. Yeah, let's do this one. Wow. Interesting. Man. Wow. Getting hairy. Thank you, Salty, tracking these down. Way to go. Absolute chaos in Israel. Streets blocked, tires burning, clashes occurring everywhere. Nope. Oh, hold on. Go back. Oh, jeez. Uh-oh. Oh, the whistle. Come on. Oh boy, they've got the drum circles going. Oh, great. And the bonfires. Oh, jeez. Roxy says, so Bibi fires this guy and then there's civil war, so Israeli defense takes orders from CIA, or did Bibi internationally trigger it due to the election results? Bibi's supposed to be Trump's friend. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of question about that. Like, I mean, on one hand, yeah, it's always kind of been what people have said, but on the other, he also was the first to call Joe Biden and congratulate him. He was the first world leader to do so. I don't know. This does look like color revolution kind of stuff, though. Like Sorosy, kind of, perhaps. I mean, it's hard to say at this point, just yet. I don't know. It's way too early. Way too early. I don't know. It's weird though. Weird timing. I mean, it must. I wonder when exactly, it jumped off. Like, when exactly did he do? When did he make his move with Gallant? Like, where? I wonder where in the timeline that falls with. Like, what the election results were looking like. Was it like looking like a sure thing at that point that Trump was going to take it, and that's when he made his move? Or yeah, I don't know exactly when this was announced. Weird. I wonder. So let's keep going. Let's keep looking. There's more. Dang. I don't know enough about the relationship, this strained relationship between them that was mentioned when it comes to Gaza and how to handle it. I think was basically what the contention was how to handle the war in Gaza. And was, I think, specifically the hostages. I mean, what possibly... I mean, how big a difference could it have been for him to have to fire him like this? I wonder what the hell happened here. So I don't know. Who knows? Maybe this military coup thing. Maybe there is something to it. Who knows? That would really be something. Quite a development. And I don't see how it couldn't be related to the election in some way. Interesting. All right. Oh, that's some other thread. Someone must have tagged me in something. I don't know. Let's go to... Let's see if there's anything on Gateway up at the top. Anything interesting. Yeah. Arizona. Yeah, I want to know more about Arizona. Oh, and a peanut update. Oh, it's just the squirrel running across the stage. Yeah, it was great. All right, let's see. Arizona. Abe Hamadeh wins Arizona congressional race. That's right. I wonder what the latest with Kari Lake is. Let's see if we can find anything on that real quick. Kari Lake. Anything in the last hour here? Here we go.
America Votes. Counting continues across Arizona as we await results for several races that are still too close to call. Let's get right over to Faye Fredericks, who's with data expert Garrett Archer, breaking down the very latest numbers. Faye?
Yeah, Katie, we have 3 big races that are very much still in play statewide. Ballots we're waiting on right now are the mail-in and the drop-off ballots. So let's start with CD1. This is Republican incumbent David Schweikert leading Dr. Amish Shah right now. What are you seeing, Garrett?
Yeah, so this has been the last couple
from last night on to now have been very friendly for Congressman Schweikert. He's won all of the election day ballots by about a factor of 60 to 40 against Dr. Amish Shah, and that is why he is now leading this race by 4,900 votes.
How many votes are still out there, roughly, and what's the percentage that Dr. Shah would need to catch Congressman Schweikert?
Sure. So we estimate about 90,000 ballots left, and Dr. Amish Shah would have to get about 8 points of those, so 54%. He'd have to win the rest of those.
About at 54%. Okay, let's go down to CD6 because we've just had a lead change on this one.
Yes, moments ago, Pima County posted their ballots still with the remaining election day ballots in Pima County, still very friendly to Republicans. And Juan Ciscomani is now leading Kirsten Engel by 400 votes.
Yeah, and again, how many votes out there do you think still, and what's the percentage that we would have to have a lead change
so
again?
I don't have the percentages on there. We're still looking at about another 90,000 or so ballots in this district as well. And I mean, this one's by a hair at the moment, so it's going to be around 4 points, 3 points.
Yeah, look at that, 417 votes separate them. The Senate race between Democrat Ruben Gallego and Republican Kari Lake. If you went to bed last night thinking this one was over, it is not. Let's take a look at it.
Yeah, so as you can see right now, Ruben Gallego is leading Kari Lake by about 60,000 votes. Really, this one is all going to come down to Maricopa County, where Kari Lake is trailing Ruben.
Of course, freaking Maricopa.
Gallego by 80,000 votes. This is a 6-point differential between the two. Really, Kari Lake's going to need to have that cut down to about 2 or 3, if she's going to have a chance to actually win this.
Yeah, and she still has votes coming in from other parts of the state as well. And that's going to be another critical thing we're going to be watching. Garrett, thank you very much. Katie, we'll send it back to you, knowing that a lot of these numbers could still change throughout the night.
Yep.
Huh. We'll see. See what happens with Ms. Lake. All right, well, I suppose that does it for me just about. Sunny's in, and okay, yeah, she's back. She is here. Cool. All right, that's it. Suppose I'll take you two down. Bye-bye, y'all. I'll be back. See ya. How you doing, Sunny? What's up?
Hi, I'm doing okay. I'm in